Have you ever had one of those days where everything feels like too much? Your thoughts are racing, your shoulders are tense, and even the smallest things make you feel overwhelmed? Maybe it's not even just one day, it's every day lately. And if you're nodding along right now, let me tell you, you're not alone. Stress has a funny way of sneaking into our lives. Sometimes it's loud and obvious, like a job deadline or a family emergency. Other times it's quiet, just a steady drip of worry, fatigue, or restlessness that we barely notice until we're lying awake at night wondering why we feel so drained. But here's the hopeful part. You don't need fancy gadgets, expensive retreats, or hours of free time to feel better. In fact, one of the most powerful tools for calming your mind and body is something you're already doing, right this very second. Breathing. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Breathing? Really? That's way too simple. But here's the thing. How we breathe has a direct line to our nervous system. The right kind of breathing can send a powerful signal to your brain that says, hey, it's safe to relax now. And when that happens, stress starts to melt away. There's real science behind this. Studies from institutions like Stanford and Harvard have shown that certain breathing techniques can reduce anxiety, lower blood pressure, and even improve focus and sleep quality. And the best part, you can do them anywhere. No gym, no appointment, just you, your breath, and a few moments of presence. In today's video, we're going to explore 3 simple breathing techniques that can help you manage stress, feel more grounded, and even improve your overall health. And trust me, you'll want to stay with me till the end, because the 3rd technique might just surprise you with how effective it is. But before we dive in, I want to share something important. This video is for informational purposes only, and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, especially if you have a medical condition. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works beautifully for one person may need to be adjusted for another. Alright, let's get into it. Let's start with the first breathing technique that can completely change the way you feel every single day. It's called box breathing, and it's as simple as it sounds. Box breathing has been used for years by Navy SEALs, athletes, and even stressed out office workers who need to stay calm under pressure. The idea is to breathe in a controlled, rhythmic pattern, like tracing the sides of a square. You inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold again for 4. That's it. Simple, right? But what's happening under the surface is fascinating. This pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, often called the rest and digest system, which helps slow your heart rate, reduce cortisol levels, and shift you out of that fight or flight state. I remember the first time I tried it. I was in the middle of a particularly chaotic week, juggling work deadlines and caring for a sick relative. My brain felt like a browser with 27 tabs open. I closed my eyes, followed the 4-count breath, and after just a few rounds, something shifted. It didn't erase the stress, but it softened it. It created just enough space for me to think clearly again. You can do box breathing anywhere, sitting in traffic, lying in bed, even waiting in line at the grocery store. And the best part, it only takes about a minute or 2 to feel a difference. Here's how you can try it right now. Go ahead and take a comfortable seat. Soften your gaze or gently close your eyes. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that again, nice and easy. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Feels good, doesn't it? Even just a few cycles can start to calm that inner storm. And over time, doing this daily can train your body to stay more balanced, even during life's messier moments. Now maybe you're thinking, this sounds great, but I've tried breathing exercises before and they didn't work for me. Totally valid. Sometimes it's not about finding any technique. It's about finding the right one for your body, your personality, your lifestyle. That's why I'm sharing 3 different techniques today, so you can experiment and see which one feels the most natural for you. And while box breathing is amazing for general stress and mental clarity, the next one we'll explore is especially helpful for emotional overwhelm. Those moments when your feelings are big, raw, and right at the surface. But before we get to that, I want to encourage you to just notice your breath throughout the day. Noticing is the first step. The moment you pause and tune into your breath, you're stepping out of autopilot and back into presence. And that presence? That's where peace lives. So here's your tiny challenge for today. Try just 1 minute of box breathing sometime in the next few hours. Set a gentle timer if you'd like, or just count in your head. Maybe right before bed, or when you wake up, or in the middle of a stressful moment. You might be amazed at how quickly it works. Now that we've opened the door to this powerful practice, let's keep going. In the next part, we'll explore a beautiful, heart-centered technique that not only calms the nervous system, but also connects you more deeply to your own emotions. It's something I personally return to again and again when life feels overwhelming. You're doing beautifully so far. Let's keep breathing together, gently, patiently, one breath at a time. Let's pick up where we left off, because now that we've explored the power of box breathing, we're ready to dive into the second breathing technique, one that speaks not just to the body but to the heart. I want to take you back to a moment that really stuck with me. I was talking with a friend, let's call her Lisa. She's in her late 60s, full of wisdom and warmth, but recently she'd been feeling overwhelmed. Between caring for her grandchildren and dealing with her own health issues, the stress was getting to her. She told me, "I just can't seem to stop my thoughts. Even when I sit down to rest, my mind keeps spinning." So, I introduced her to something called heart-focused breathing, and within just a few weeks, she said she felt more grounded and emotionally centered than she had in months. This technique comes from the work of the HeartMath Institute, which has done some fascinating research on the connection between our heart rhythms and our emotional states. They found that when we breathe slowly and bring our attention to the heart, we can actually create something called heart coherence. That's just a fancy way of saying our nervous system, heart, and brain all start working together in harmony. And when that happens, you feel calmer, clearer, and more resilient. Here's how you can try it. It's very simple and gentle. Start by placing your hand over your chest, right above your heart. This small touch brings awareness to the center of your body. Now, slowly begin to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Let your breath be easy and natural. There's no rush. As you breathe, imagine the air flowing in and out through your heart. Yes, really. Imagine each breath moving through your chest, softening and opening that space with every inhale and exhale. Now here's the key part. As you breathe, bring to mind a feeling of gratitude, appreciation, or love. It can be something small, a beautiful sunrise, a kind word from a friend, or even a cozy cup of tea. Anything that makes your heart feel warm. Breathe with that feeling. Let it fill your chest. Inhale peace, exhale tension. This isn't just a feel-good practice. It's backed by science. Studies have shown that heart-focused breathing can lower cortisol levels, reduce anxiety, and even improve immune function. In fact, some hospitals are now teaching it to patients before surgery to help ease nerves and promote faster recovery. Lisa told me she started doing this every morning before the chaos of the day began. Just 5 minutes with her hand on her heart, breathing with appreciation. She said, "It's like my little reset button. No matter what happens after that, I feel more in control of how I respond." Isn't that beautiful? You might even notice a change in your posture as you do this. Your shoulders drop, your jaw relaxes, your face softens. That's your body saying thank you. What I love about this technique is how accessible it is. You don't need any tools, and you don't have to sit in perfect silence. You can do it while listening to gentle music, sitting on a park bench, or even during a break at work. And if you're someone who's experienced grief, anxiety, or just a lot of emotional heaviness lately, this kind of breath work can be a healing bridge between the mind and the heart. It reminds us that even in stressful moments, we can still access peace, simply by turning inward. Now, maybe you're wondering, what if I don't feel anything right away? That's okay. Some days, your breath might feel shallow. Your mind might wander. That doesn't mean it isn't working. Just showing up for yourself, again and again, that's the real practice. The benefits build over time. Even 5 slow, heart-centered breaths can make a difference. Try it when you wake up, or when you're feeling anxious, or before you go to sleep. It's gentle, safe, and profoundly calming. So now we've explored 2 powerful tools: box breathing for structure and mental clarity, and heart-focused breathing for emotional grounding and inner connection. But what about those moments when your mind is racing and your body feels on edge, like you can't sit still, or your muscles are buzzing with nervous energy? That's where our third technique comes in. and I can't wait to share it with you in the next part. This one is perfect for releasing built-up stress, especially if you've been carrying tension in your body for a long time. It's energizing, dynamic, and kind of fun too. In fact, I know someone, an 82-year-old yoga teacher, who swears by this method. She says it keeps her feeling young, loose, and full of life. But we'll get into that in just a moment. Before we transition, I want you to take one more breath with me, just one. Place your hand over your chest again if you'd like. Close your eyes for a second. Inhale gently and deeply. Exhale slowly, softly. You are here. You are safe. You are doing enough. That breath right there? That's a gift to yourself. All right, feeling a little more relaxed? Let's keep this momentum going, because in the next part, we'll uncover that third breathing technique that's especially helpful for tension in the body. If you've been dealing with stiffness, restlessness, or that can't wind down feeling, this one's for you. See you in the next part. You're doing great. Let's keep breathing together. Now, if you've been following along, you've already learned two powerful breathing techniques. Box breathing, which brings balance to the mind, and heart-focused breathing, which centers you emotionally. And I have to say, I'm so glad you're still with me, because what we're about to dive into might just be the most energizing technique yet. This next breathing method is perfect for moments when your body feels tight with stress, when your muscles are tense, your shoulders are up to your ears, and you're just craving a deep release. And let me tell you, I know exactly what that feels like. I was talking with my friend Mary last year, and she shared something I think a lot of us can relate to. She said, "I feel like I'm constantly holding my breath. With everything going on in my life, it's like my body is always on alert." Now, Mary's been through a lot. She's raising two teenagers, managing her career, and taking care of a home. And on top of that, she's had some health challenges. But when I introduced her to the breath of fire technique, it was like a switch flipped for her. You see, breath of fire is an energizing, yet calming, technique often used in yoga. It's designed to help release pent-up tension, clear out stress, and actually improve lung capacity. It sounds intense, but trust me, once you get the hang of it, you'll see just how transformative it can be. Let's break it down. First, sit comfortably, but make sure your back is straight. You can do this sitting on the floor or in a chair, whatever works best for you. Now place your hands on your knees or thighs. Close your eyes and let your breath settle for a moment. Here's the key. The breath will be quick and rhythmic, powered by your diaphragm. You'll inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose in rapid succession. It's not about force, but about creating a steady rhythm. The way it works is this. You'll focus on the exhale, making it short and sharp. Your belly will move in toward your spine with each exhalation, while your inhale will happen naturally, without effort. The key is that the inhale is passive, and the exhale is active. Let's try it together. Ready? Take a deep breath in, and now exhale quickly through your nose. Keep going, sharp, quick exhales. Inhale naturally between each one. Focus on your belly moving in and out with each breath. It might feel a little strange at first, but I promise you, stick with it, and you'll feel the energy shift. Breath of fire works by stimulating your sympathetic nervous system, which activates your body's natural fight or flight response. But here's the twist, it's all under control. You're not in danger. In fact, doing this controlled, rhythmic breathing helps clear out stagnant energy, improves oxygen flow, and even gives your immune system a little boost. When Mary first tried it, she told me, "I felt like I was finally able to let go of all the stuff I'd been holding in my body. My tension melted away, and I felt alive again." I'll admit, at first it can be a little overwhelming. You might feel lightheaded or dizzy, but that's a sign that your body is adjusting and waking up. It's the rush of fresh oxygen flooding your system. A lot of people feel a surge of energy, and some even report feeling more mentally sharp and focused after just a few rounds of breath of fire. It's a great one for those times when you feel like you're about to hit a wall, or when you've just been sitting too long and need a quick pick-me-up. Breath of fire isn't just for when you're stressed. It's also incredibly helpful in moments when you need to feel connected, whether that's to yourself or to others. Some of the most powerful moments in yoga and meditation come when we do this kind of breath work together in a group. The rhythm of our collective breath has a powerful, almost contagious effect. And guess what? This technique is also a great tool for when you need to clear out mental fog or refocus your energy. If you've been sitting at your desk all day, or feel like your mind is running in circles, a few minutes of breath of fire can bring a sense of mental clarity. It's like pressing the reset button on your brain. One important note, as with any new practice, it's a good idea to start slow. Begin with about 30 seconds of breath of fire, and then gradually build up to 1 to 2 minutes. Your body will adjust, and the more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Remember, the goal of this technique isn't to force it. It's to let your body release the tension it's been holding on to and bring you back to a place of calm energy. It's active, yes, but also deeply restorative. Now you might be thinking, I don't have time to sit down for this every day, or I can't focus on my breath for that long. And I hear you. Life is busy. But the beautiful thing about breath of fire and the other techniques we've covered is that they don't require hours of practice. Just a few minutes can make a significant difference in how you feel. In fact, I often recommend doing breath of fire for a few rounds whenever you feel your energy drop or your stress levels rise. It's a powerful tool for recentering yourself, especially during those hectic moments of the day. I also recommend combining breath of fire with the heart-focused breathing we talked about earlier. For example, after you've done a few rounds of breath of fire to clear out stress, you can use heart-focused breathing to bring emotional balance and peace. That's how you create a full circle of stress relief, body, mind, and heart. So now that we've explored these 3 breathing techniques, box breathing, heart-focused breathing, and breath of fire, you might be wondering, how do I keep this up? How can I make breathing a regular part of my routine? That's a great question, and I'll be diving into exactly that in the final part of this series. In fact, I have a little challenge for you that will help you stay consistent with your breathwork practice and make it a habit that serves you every single day. But before we go there, I want you to pause for a moment. Take a deep breath in and out. You've just learned 3 incredibly simple but powerful techniques. You're already doing the hard work. Now let's keep the momentum going. I'll see you in the next part, where we'll wrap things up with actionable steps to make this a lasting part of your life. So, here we are at the final part of our journey into breathing techniques for stress relief. By now, you've learned 3 powerful tools to help you manage stress and anxiety: box breathing, heart-focused breathing, and breath of fire. You've taken the first steps toward transforming the way you approach your stress. And let me tell you, you're already on your way to feeling more relaxed, more energized, and more in control. Now, I know that as life gets busy and stress keeps popping up, it can be tough to stick to new habits. So, let's talk about how to make these breathing practices a consistent part of your day. The good news? You don't have to carve out a huge chunk of time or completely overhaul your schedule to see benefits. What I'm about to share are small, practical ways to integrate these techniques into your daily routine. One of the most common things people tell me when they're starting a new habit is, I just forget to do it. And I totally get that. Life moves quickly, and it's easy to forget about something that might seem new or unfamiliar. But that's why I recommend starting small. Here's a simple challenge I want to give you. Nothing too complicated, just something you can start today. Every morning, right after you wake up, take 5 minutes to practice one of these techniques. Just 5 minutes. I'm not asking for hours of deep meditation or full-on yoga sessions. Just 5 minutes of your day to breathe and center yourself. Here's how to do it. 1. Start with box breathing. Take a seat in a comfortable chair, close your eyes, and do 4 rounds of box breathing. Remember, inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. That's it. For simple rounds. 2. Next, try heart-focused breathing for 3 to 5 minutes. It's a great way to connect with your emotions and your body, especially in the morning when you're setting the tone for your day. Focus on your heart center, breathing deeply and slowly, imagining love or peace as you breathe in and out. 3. Lastly, after you've gotten comfortable with the other 2, try adding 1 minute of breath of fire. If it's a busy morning and you need a little energy boost to get going, this will wake up your body and mind. I promise, taking just a few minutes each morning to connect with your breath will make a huge difference over time. And if you forget one day, that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's about creating a routine that works for you. The more you practice, the more it'll become second nature, and the more you'll feel the benefits in your body and mind. But here's the thing, consistency is key. And you don't need to wait until you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed to practice these breathing techniques. The more you do them in your everyday life, the easier they'll be to tap into when you need them the most. I know some of you might be thinking, I'm not sure I have time for this. Believe me, I get it. Life is demanding, and sometimes it feels like there's just not enough time to take a breath. But here's the beautiful part. You don't need a lot of time. A few minutes a day is all it takes to start noticing real changes. In fact, studies show that just a few minutes of deep breathing every day can significantly lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and boost your overall sense of calm. So even when you feel like you don't have time, remember that a few minutes can actually help you make the most of your day, improving focus and productivity in the long run. I also want to share one more tip for staying consistent. Anchor these breathing techniques to another habit you already do every day. For example, after you brush your teeth in the morning, that's your cue to do 5 minutes of breathing. Or after you make your coffee, you could practice heart-focused breathing. The idea is to attach your new habit to something you're already doing, so it becomes a seamless part of your day. You can even try pairing the breathing techniques with other forms of self-care. For example, if you like to take a walk in the afternoon, try doing box breathing while walking. Or if you're winding down in the evening, heart-focused breathing is a great way to calm your mind and prepare for restful sleep. One of the most powerful things about breath work is that it's free. You don't need any fancy equipment, you don't need a special place, and you don't need a lot of time. Your breath is always with you, and it's a tool you can use at any moment to reconnect and reset. I have to tell you, I've seen the difference this can make in people's lives. I remember meeting a woman named Sarah who was dealing with a lot of stress at work. She said, I was just running on empty all the time, anxious, fatigued, and overwhelmed. But when she committed to doing 5 minutes of breath work every morning, she started feeling more energized and less stressed. She even said it was like her anxiety had a shelf life now. It didn't last as long, and she had the tools to push it aside. It's amazing how something as simple as breathing can be such a powerful tool for stress relief. But I want to leave you with one last thing to remember. This isn't about being perfect. It's about taking small, consistent steps toward a life with less stress and more peace. The benefits won't always be immediate, but with time, you'll start to notice your body responding in powerful ways. So, what's your next step? I challenge you to pick one breathing technique today and try it for just 5 minutes. It doesn't matter which one you start with, just start. Remember, your breath is the bridge between your body and your mind. By mastering these techniques, you're taking control of your stress and creating a calmer, more peaceful life. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey today. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to the channel for more tips on living a healthier, stress-free life. And if you have any questions or suggestions for future topics, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Here's to breathing your way to a more peaceful, relaxed you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.